Hey, what's up, guys? I recently wrote an article for indie hackers in response to one of my newsletter readers who had a question about burnout. And the article really gained some traction, right? It resonated with a lot of people. I wanted to kind of take a minute to address this over video as well, because I think, if it can help more people that are kind of struggling with this, then that's my goal with these, right? So this question ultimately came from Frederick. He wrote in and said, "Hey, Dan, I'm burnt out with my side project and I'm just really not sure what to do with it. I've tried lots of things and I've made some money, but just not enough." He said that he's just feeling burned out and he wants to know, how do you distinguish between burnout or a mental block? He said, "I'm in a state where, I know exactly what I should be doing next, but the moment I'm in front of my machine, I just go blank, right? I lose all the motivation and just slowly slide over to social media where I spend 20 to 30 minutes before getting off and blaming myself for a lack of focus." He asks, is it a mental block, like a writer's block, or is this burnout? And then in either case, what's the way out? So, Frederick, thanks so much again for your question. And, here's kind of my 2 cents on this, right? So, what you're describing here is a classic case of burnout, right? So, a mental block happens when you're really just not sure what to do next, right? And so, the key in that scenario to getting more clarity is to take action so that you can actually gather more data to make a decision, right? But that doesn't seem to be your situation. As you've mentioned here, you already know exactly what you should be doing. So, that said, we need to look at what burnout actually is so that you can take steps to overcome it and move forward. And this is really where most people get it wrong. Every article on Forbes, entrepreneur, founder, right? It all echoes the same advice of more self-care, right? Or balance or breaks. And this is really just, overplayed generic advice that really only addresses the symptoms of burnout and not necessarily the root cause. And that's often what's kind of getting sidelined in these conversations. So the real issue is this: somewhere along the line, you stopped doing work that energizes you. Burnout isn't because you're doing too much, but it's because you're just doing too little of the things that light you up, right? You might find that just too many of your tasks on your plate are draining, and that's the real problem. It happens to all of us at some point or another, and we just get so caught up in the day-to-day grind that we don't stop to realize that we've fallen off course somewhere along the way, right? And if that's the case, it's time to recalibrate your day to play to your natural strengths, right? The activities that actually energize you, right? Imagine if, every day you just woke up and you just spent all day energized because you were doing the activities that you loved, you found engaging, it put you in that flow state, and you knew that the work you were doing was contributing to your values in some way. If that were true, I doubt you'd be avoiding work and wasting time on social media. I mean, don't get me wrong, taking breaks and practicing self-care, it's all essential, but it's not the cure for burnout. So here's really the way out. Next time that you catch yourself procrastinating, you're just staring in front of your computer, ask yourself, what am I gearing up to do? Which specific tasks am I avoiding? Grab a piece of paper, write them all down, right? Start a running list of all of your tasks and then take notes next to each one. Does that task energize you or does it drain you? If it drains you, can you delegate it, maybe automate it with technology or even eliminate it? When you force yourself to spend time on tasks that drain you and just leave you uninspired, it's really just like pushing a boulder up a hill. And that could be stunting your business growth and might be the real reason your side project has plateaued. The most successful founders, they learn what they do best and then they leverage capital, labor, or code, right, technology, to handle the rest. So myself, for example, right, I'm terrible at creating systems and processes. If I tried to write an SOP for my team, it would take me all day. And just the end result would be awful. Much like you're kind of describing here, I'd probably spend hours staring at a blank screen because it's just not my thing. I don't enjoy it. But luckily, I have an admin who loves this stuff and can whip up an SOP in about an hour because it comes natural to her. That's one of her strengths. So during your perfect workday, What would you spend your time doing? Which tasks in your business would be a dream to spend all day working on? And start there. Identify those tasks and then outsource the rest, or as much as you can, to spend as much time as possible operating in your zone of genius. And you'll probably see your business blossom as a result. And, if nothing in your business aligns with your strengths or your values, you might just be building the wrong business for you. Anyway, I hope this helps. If anybody that watches this has any questions, feel free to reach out to me, leave a comment, shoot me an email. Always happy to help.